The worst trap with art learning is letting negative feelings stop you. There is one thing that Catherine said that really stuck with me, that is, the only way to fail is to stop. And unfortunately, it is very easy to let comparison, self-doubt and critics stop you from working on your craft, but this should push you forward instead. Welcome back, my name is Julie. I am here as a New Masters Academy student ambassador of craft to share some insights on how to stay motivated through the difficult feelings we all have in our art journey. To help you put this into practice, I have created a set of free resources that you can download using the link under this video. It is ironic that often the desire to be more skilled than we are makes us want to stop art. It is something that I have felt, and I've seen many students struggling with this. I don't think wanting to be more skilled is a bad feeling or something that you should ignore. It is unpleasant, but it should be a motivation to keep working on your craft. This is why the first thing that I want to talk about is to accept where you are. Visual arts can be especially challenging for that because we underestimate the amount of work that it takes to create a masterful piece of art. But there is no shame in being at any level. No one is born a master, and what really matters is your desire to improve and how much work you put in. It is very human to compare your work to others, and I don't think it is something that you can avoid, but some comparisons are just counterproductive. For example, thinking about talent or feeling bad about not having practiced as much as someone or not having started as early as someone else. If someone is doing great, use it as a source of inspiration and motivation, but never let comparison make you feel bad about yourself. You can't change the amount of talent that you have, whatever it means, or how much work you have put in the past. It is all about what you do today. And comparison is unavoidable, so use it as a positive force. There is something that is very difficult to see while you are in the battle, but that I find important to remember, and that is that being a beginner is really the most exciting moment of your journey, because as you learn art, you are going to go through many realizations and many improvements, but really it is at the beginning of your journey that you make the most progress. Of course, we all want to be masters, but it is as a beginner that you grow the fastest, and one day you might look back at this point of your journey and miss how much progress you were making. So avoid using the word beginner as a dismissive word in your language or in your thoughts. Your efforts are not less valuable just because you are starting. And in my personal opinion, the less natural skill you have for something, the more admirable your commitment is. Accepting where you are doesn't mean that you're happy about it or that you want to stay there, but it is only when you really accept your current level that you can start making real progress. Because of school, a lot of us have been trained to believe that not knowing how to do something yet, not being able to execute something perfectly on the first try, is a failure. But that's not the case at all. It is a completely normal part of the learning process, and if you already knew how to do what you want to learn, you wouldn't be learning it. So what I really love about New Masters Academy is that because it is an online art school, there is no selection, there is no grade. It is just about learning. It is just about meeting you where you are and giving you the tools to improve your craft. You can think about your art learning just like a fitness journey. So the first time that you meet your trainer, you don't want to pretend that you are more advanced than you are and that you're super strong, super fit, and get a program that you can't possibly keep up with. There is no advantage to that, and it is exactly the same with art. You need to understand and accept where you are and follow a program that is going to give you the best tools in the best order at the best time to make progress. A clear plan, such as NMA's Drawing Foundations module, gives you a clear path that you can follow and makes it a lot easier to show up and make progress. I know that frustration with your current level can be difficult to handle, but try to let it fuel your motivation instead of sabotaging it. And when frustration feels like too much, try to take a step back and understand where it comes from, because you might have unrealistic expectations about the learning process. Learning to draw is difficult, it is not meant to feel easy. Maybe you need more practice with an assignment or an exercise because it is a craft and nothing is going to come at once. And sometimes you just need a break. Drawing takes a lot of focus, it takes a lot of energy, especially when you are intentionally implementing what you learn. Finally, about frustration, when something feels so difficult that you just can't do it or find out why, don't be afraid to reach out to the community to ask for support. And use NMA's coaching options and NMA critiques to get help from a professional artist who knows exactly what you're going through. For me, being surrounded by other students who were more advanced than me, who had more experience, who were great at certain things or were ahead of me in the Drawing Foundations module has been extremely inspiring, because I get these competitive feelings sometimes of seeing someone making a piece that is so amazing or being 2 classes ahead of me, and I just feel like I want to do this as well, I want to be there as well. So I believe that comparison is not a bad thing, but you can use these competitive feelings in a way that is going to motivate you and push you forward. Because at the end of the day, we all want to improve our craft, and taking inspiration from the masters who came before us and being surrounded by inspiring artists and students is a great thing. I also wanted to talk about critique. It is an essential part of learning and also a great aspect of being part of an artistic community, but not everyone has a healthy relationship to critique. Because of school, again, or life experiences, it is easy to associate critique with judgment and to be afraid of it, but a good critique is never about you as a person or even as an artist. It is just about a piece of work. And the point of a critique is to help you improve. On the opposite side of that, I see some people being completely open to critique, and although it can seem better to listen to everyone's critiques rather than being completely closed to it, you also want to keep in mind that not all critiques have the same value. One thing that is crucial about critiques is to understand the context of them. It is especially important because you might receive critiques or feedback that can seem contradictory at first, and it can be confusing. But the first question to ask yourself is, who is giving you a critique? Is it an artist, an amateur, a professional, a fellow student, a teacher, a coach, a TA? And this is very important context for how you might take that critique. And beyond that, you can ask yourself, what is the artistic training, the specific angle of the person who is giving you a critique on your work? Because, for example, an urban sketcher and a botanical artist might value completely different things in their art, and this is something that is going to show in what they notice or advise in your work. Both of them might have very useful and valuable comments, but understanding the context of the critique is what is going to allow you to apply it best to your work in a way that serves your artistic purpose. Because in visual arts, some fundamentals apply across mediums and techniques, but when we talk about the artistic process, what makes a process good is how well it serves a specific purpose. And different artists, different industries might value different things in an image, but at the end of the day, it is your job as the artist to understand what you want to do with a piece of art, to understand which critiques are more valuable than others, and apply feedback in the way that is going to serve your purpose. All that being said, I encourage you to take all of the critiques from teacher assistants and coaches here at New Masters Academy. For the assignments, if you're submitting for interactive feedback, the critiques are always aligned with the class's spirit and the goal of the specific lesson, and written in a way that is only for you to improve on those skills. Whether they still need work or you have mastered them, they will always push you forward. And for NMA critiques and coaching sessions, try to include as much context as you can about your piece of work to help the coach better understand why you are making this piece, who is the recipient, and what you want to say with it to give you the best possible advice. Even when we accept where we are and we have a healthy relationship with critique, doubts can happen and learning art can feel hard because it is and because the journey is so long. And this is why I started this series by talking about purpose, because it is what keeps us motivated over the long run and help us learn with intention. If you haven't downloaded them yet, I highly recommend that you check out the free resources that I put together with this series. You can find them using the link in the description below, and you will find journaling worksheets to help you find your meaning in art and reconnect with it when it gets difficult. When doubts show up, try to reconnect with your original intention. If you have journaled or written this somewhere, you can go back to these pages and read them again. And if you haven't, try to ask yourself and remember why it mattered before and why it is important for you to pursue art. We can be very hard on ourselves, so if someone you love was going through the same kind of doubts you have right now, try to think about what you could tell them to help them feel better and keep going. I want to say it again because it is something we all go through, yet we feel alone when it happens, but having doubts in your art journey is completely normal. It is just part of the process, there is nothing to feel bad about, and the only thing that matters is that you want to pursue art, you're working sincerely, and you are showing up consistently. It is not about making one perfect drawing or one perfect study week, it is about staying on the path for the long run. Remember that art is one of the hardest things to learn. It takes 10 years of training to become a doctor, but it takes even longer than that to become a professional artist. The pursuit of mastery is a lifelong journey. If you are going through a difficult moment right now, I hope that this inspired you to get back to the drawing table. Next episode is going to be about something that has been critical in my own artistic journey, and that is to build an online presence. Thank you for watching this episode, keep learning, and I will see you in the next one.